What's up, you guys, and what's up, viewers? This is actually my first time talking in this video, and hopefully you enjoy one of my collections. This time we're moving to the F7s and Sharknoses through the years. This first one here, this is a Sharknose from somewhere between 1955 or 1956. It contains the Tyco logo. It has the front the loop coupler, and underneath it has not one but a double power. It's a double power unit. This is Move on to our next year is probably 1957 and 58. It's the one where they introduced the coupler, not the loop one. They also added a horn on the horn, and there's no front coupler, but this one's a single motor one. Power, and this is the motor. And now we're moving on to the F7s. The first one that came out was the Baltimore and Ohio, and it came Pacific, but I don't have it. But here's the Baltimore and Ohio one. This is the first year where it came out, and underneath it has the power, and it has the exposed gear. This is 1959 where they made them, and it's actually appeared on a couple of my sets, and it'll be in 1960. It completely changed. This is Atlantic East Coast from the 1960, and underneath they changed it. They put the coverings on due to the amount of hair it was been getting into the gear, so they put the covers. And this is the very hard to find Atlantic East Coast, is because the color, this is the first year, and I have to be careful when I drag them like this, is because on another one of my models the logo has been completely faded, is because the way that people have been grabbing it. So for a little bit of a safety, I would recommend anchoring it like this, or on the bottom of the tank without grabbing a hold of the symbols. And this is in mint condition too. I don't want to touch it this one a lot. In 1960, I had the Pennsylvania set, but this is a little bit different because the coupler thing is a little bit smaller. It's where they have the spring ones right here, and it's the exact same motor too. This is 1961, the green version of Pennsylvania. I don't have a brown one though. Then we move on to one of the viewed ones was the Chesapeake in Ohio. This is actually a few of them that I have in my collection, but this is actually also the only one that has a double power. Like this one has one motor here, and this one has a front motor too. This has not been custom. This was actually possibly made by Tyco, but these are actually very hard to find. And I only have a few of these in my collection, but today now these are actually very expensive, and these are a little bit hard to find. One of the trains I didn't feature in my videos was a Burlington F7. This is the only one I own in my collection, but I'm not going to be running this one because this one runs better with two of the motors, but this one doesn't. This is actually another rare double power motor, but this time with all the rivets being the same. But this one is in mint condition too, and I don't want to touch it just like the last one. I meant this one with the symbol, where people grab it. Yeah, I'll put it on the track. Next up we have the Union Pacific. This was another most viewed train on my channel. This is the only one I have. I don't have the B unit for it, but the same thing, but it's starting with the black bottom and the coupler up at 2, but this one has the same rivets. Both sides have the same rivets, And this one's in mint condition too. And I also have a Montuo 1-2, which I'll be showing in the future. But this is also another good one. And this is the most viewed train on my channel, the K National. But in that video, it was this model. I also introduced another model on my channel. It was a older one, but this is the most viewed one on my channel for right now, the K National. And it's also another black bottom too, but this time with a little bit of a change where the coupler connects. It was a smaller and a big connection. And this is 3 years too. Like this one's probably 1966, and this is another similar year, but it's a 1 year before this one. And we have another. This is actually on a Christmas catalog. It was the Christmas catalog, the Game Pacific, the newer one. But this one's not. These. I'm not gonna. But this one, though, the Game Pacific, this is probably the last year where they came out, because the first ones they had a brown one, but this one is the year where they completely changed it. Underneath it has the exact same motor, but this one has the different color rivets, and the back bogies they're connected to without using screws. They use the pins right here, and it's also connected differently in this point here. They don't attach by screws, they connect it by the pin. But this one bogie they attach by the screw. And right here is a couple of the power torques. I have a couple of Minifix fighting this because the models are cheap, but get out of here. But here's the chassis system. I don't know the exact name for this one. You know that's an F7, unlike these, but this one is a chassis system power torque, which I featured in the last video. It was the chassis freight set. And here's the power torque, the three wheel, and this is the 2 wheel of the power torque. And for the final one is a power torque Sharknose. I featured on the last video too. And it's actually a little bit of a plastic version, since through the years when they introduced F7s, they didn't bring out the Sharknose, but here it is. It's a little bit different compared to the original too, but here's the newer one. And it's the exact same too as the chassis system of the power torque. And a couple little add-on details. This model with the Tyco logo is actually a little bit hard to find, because a few of my Streamlines don't have this Tyco logo, but this one's also rare because it's a double power motor one. I showed this one in a Streamline video with a couple of coaches, and this is a mint condition model too. I featured this one on a set, and it was a really cool model too. This one was the chemical special set. I featured this one, but I have another one coming just for this one here. I'm gonna be leaving in this one on the track is because this one's so hard to find because it's a darker color. But when the other years came out, it was a almost like a pink color. But the first model was this color right here. I don't want to touch it or pick it up. I can only show it. It's gonna be a display model, but I showed it on the Merchandise Express. I showed this one with the other A unit. It was the pace setter set, and then these are a really common unit. But the other unit I have is a brown one, which I don't have, is because I'm not gonna be taking it out of the box and showing you because it's so hard to find. These 2 models I featured with the double motor, which are so hard to find and scarce. But the one I'm not going to be showing sadly now is this one, is because it's having a double motor issue, is because one motor runs faster than the other. That's why they stopped making them. And this is the only one I have as a Burlington F7 in my collection. But this one actually runs. I actually showed it in another set with the other A unit, and it's the better power double power unit. And following along with the top 2 most viewed, it was the Union Pacific and the K National, but I featured this one on another set, which I actually made up, because it appeared on another set with another A unit, but this is the only unit I have with it, as no dummy unit. I don't have any power units with the Union Pacific. But with the K National, I do have 2 units, but I have a silver unit, a silver bottom unit, but I'm showing you the black bottom unit. This is the newer. And for the other unit, the one I showed on my Christmas train video, it was this one, the newer unit. This one's actually a good runner too, but this is a little bit changed with the other Game Pacifics, the blue one, like the brown one I showed. And finally, for our Power Torx and some others is these, which are actually the newest years before it was mid. The Power Torx here, where it became the good motor, then it came to the cheap one, the Power Torx. I run this one in a couple other videos, including these others, except for this one. And finally, for the last one is the Sharknose. I ran this in a couple other videos too, and it's also a little bit different than these two. And finally, for the other one is a little bit of a warning. When you're picking up a train, you have to be careful not to pick it up here. Let me explain it for the final time. This was actually not, I didn't actually pick it like this. Sometimes I have to hold it by the tank and pick it up. Just like with this model here, I have to be careful when I pick it up. Is because this is a mint condition one. I have to hold it on the sides or on the top or bottom to avoid hitting the marks. But you gotta be careful when handling these, especially the rarer ones. But that's all for my channel right now, and hopefully have you a good day, and see you at the next short video. Goodbye.